I'm not waiting until February to give you guys your POC recs. I'm gonna give them to you right now. And you better start reading them throughout the year. Okay, maybe that was a tad bit aggressive, but I really don't want to hear you guys read POC authors only in February. So I'm gonna give you some recs that you can read all year long. If your goal is to read more POC authors in 2024, I'm gonna give you some starting points that are not Kennedy Ryan, even though she's amazing. I actually think I do have hers over there, but I'm gonna give you some indie authors as well. Some of these are gonna be books by POC authors that I've already read. Some of them are currently on my TBR that I have not gotten to yet. So we're gonna start with my favorite one. One of my favorite ones that I've read this year is Heir of Flames by Asia Monet. If you like mafia romance, if you like Rio from Good Girls, look. And her new covers for these are so, like, I really like this one because I like sunflower, like I like the sunflowers on it. But the new covers that she's coming out with these books are phenomenal. They look so cool. But if you just want an unhinged, crazed man, it's an interracial relationship. So like he is biracial. I think he is, if I remember correctly, he's like Hispanic and Black, I think. I forgot. I'm not gonna lie to you, I actually forgot his race, but I do know that he is biracial and the girl is a curvy Black FMC. So I feel like you'd enjoy this. He was so unhinged. He was so down bad for her. But the whole premise of this is Kira opens a new restaurant only to find out that the restaurant that she just opened is actually in debt to Adrian's family. Adrian basically is like, hey, I actually don't want your money, but I want something else from you. And he basically forces her to date him as repayment to his family. I know that sounds nuts. I know it sounds nuts, but listen, it was so good. It was chaotic, but it was great. Hillary is another popular author on TikTok. I don't see her as much as Kennedy Ryan, but she is published. However, I read Drunk on Love at the beginning of this year and it was just such a cozy little, like, it felt like a grown woman read. Like about a woman who owns a winery with her family and she goes on a like date, or like she's out at a bar somewhere and she meets this guy. They have like a one night stand, I think, if I remember correctly. I read this literally back in like January, I think. But she has like a one night stand only to find out that I think her dad or her brother hired him, and so she's like, no, we cannot have a relationship. I am your boss. But of course, it doesn't always go like that. They can't deny their feelings. Attention in this book was phenomenal. This one I did not like, but I'm going to include it anyway because so many of my friends like it and so many people just love this. It's a YA book. I think that's where I went wrong. I'm not a huge YA girl, okay? I don't think it's like, I don't think it's for me. Okay, listen. I think it's enemies to lovers. The main character has a TikTok that is dedicated to like conspiracy theories and stuff, and then she goes to camp with this guy who supposedly she's been like beefing with for like ever. That's all I remember. I do not remember finishing this book because I think I just needed something else and I couldn't finish it. But I'm gonna include it anyway because so many people think that this is a super cute read. So if you're like a YA girly, I feel like this is gonna be a good read. It just personally was not for me. Right here is my favorite enemies to lovers I have ever read. It is oh my god. I still get goosebumps talking about this, but it's Requited, Unrequited Love by Mina Ramzy. It's the best enemies to lovers arranged marriage, and there's like a sprinkle of like hidden identities because they're like talking to each other and don't know that they're like pen paling each other, but they hate each other in real life, but they don't know. It's so good. I don't think this is like a secret. This one's a little interesting because it's basically the FMC that needs someone to marry her. She just wants her freedom and independence from her family. I really liked because the FMC is a psychology major. However, her family is very traditional. So she doesn't get to go out and do a lot of things that her older brother gets to do. Or I don't know if her brother's older or younger, but her brother has so much more freedom than her. He can basically go and do whatever. And her mom is like, no, you need to come home when I say you need to come home. You have a curfew. You can't tell me, like, you can't go out and do things, which is like really interesting because like she can only do it if she gets married, but she's not allowed to go anywhere to get married. So it's so funny, like she's like, how am I supposed to meet someone to get married if I'm not allowed to go anywhere type thing. This is Sunny Disposition by Deanna Gray. I went into this thinking that it was one thing and it was not. It's very much marketed as a hockey romance, but there's just a hockey player in it, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like when I'm reading a hockey romance personally, I actually like want elements of hockey in the book. First of all, I bought this book for the cover alone. It is so cute. Like, look at how pretty it is. But I was misled. Like I said, it's not really a hockey romance. It's a romance with a hockey player in it, but the girl is also a gamer, so I thought that was really interesting. But basically, if you like the amnesia trope, because I feel like this book is so short that if I tell you the whole plot, I will literally tell you the whole book. But the girl is a gamer and he is a hockey player. Something happens to where Finn, the hockey player, like loses his memory. There was an accident or something, and he doesn't remember that he was supposed to meet her because they've been talking online for a while, and they were supposed, the night that he was supposed to meet her, something happens and he doesn't end up remembering her, and he basically goes ghost, but they end up getting reconnected without knowing that that's who they are. Second book in this series, it's called Team Player. I have not read this one yet, but I said I've heard this one is far better than this one, so I am going to be reading this at some point. But I feel like I should include this because this might be fun for somebody. This is a YA book that I actually thought was so adorable, and I actually really loved it. And it's Reggie and Deliliah's Year Falling. And basically these two kids only get together on holidays, and like they have the little holiday thing. As someone who grew up being called whitewashed my whole life, I completely related to Reggie and like him just feeling like he didn't have a place with black kids because of the things that he was interested in. And then Delilah is like a singer of a band, and she's actually super talented, but her band members make her feel like she's less than for whatever reason. And this book was so cute. It was so adorable. It was one of my favorite reads back in February. I thought it was amazing. It was 5 stars. Again, I'm not a YA person, but this one was really good. If you remember the show Heroes, I am obsessed with that show. I was obsessed for years. This series reminded me of Heroes. So this one was a little boring, and then this one was like really long, but everyone kept telling me to hold off until I got to Ignite Me. It was so good. Aaron Warner, My Short Taurus King, was one of the first fictional men back into my reading journey that I could not get enough of. I've not finished the series. I really need to. I've only gotten to these 3, but it's so good. It's so good. Listen, if you like the show Heroes, this is a very specific audience. If you watch the show Heroes and were obsessed with it like I was obsessed with it, you're going to love this series. I promise you, it's so good. I had a blast reading it. Some people say it's boring, but I had a blast reading it. Okay, so here are some books by some POC authors that I personally have not read yet, but they are on my TBR. I just got sent this. It's Game On by Serrisa Glass. I actually do not know what this is about, but it was sent to me, and I'm super excited to read it because I'm also entering my gamer era. Like, I've been getting back into like cozy gaming, so I feel like this is going to be such a cute read, but I actually don't know what this is about. I am someone who buys books solely off the covers alone, so a lot of these I actually don't know what they're about. I just know that like I like the cover, so I bought it. This is one that I saw on Amazon, and I just thought that the title and the cover was really cute, so I bought it. But I think that this is about a girl who's in like a long-term relationship with someone, but they don't treat her right, but then she ends up meeting someone else. It's by Taylor Bianca B. She's an indie author. I literally have never seen this anywhere, so I do want to read this to like try to get it out there a little bit more. My goal in 2024 is to find authors, especially POC indie authors that I just have not heard of or have not seen their books circulating on TikTok. Is Elena. She's pretty popular. If you've read The Spanish Love Deception, which I adore. I know people think that book is cringy and annoying, but I adore it. I haven't read this one yet, but I've been holding on to it for a while, and I don't know when I'm going to get to it, but I do really want to read it. I think this is about a former agent and like a soccer player, and I'm pretty sure it's enemies to lovers. Elena Armas is a slow burn queen. I think that's why I haven't read this yet, because I haven't been in the mood for like a slow burn. I just want something a little insta-lovey, so I haven't gotten here yet, but I do really think it's going to be a good book. One more that's on my list is by Talia Hibbert. I've been trying to get more into her writing. I heard this one's really good, but this one sounds really, really fun. It's two best friends, 7 years of pining, one explosive summer. He lets her move into his house, which is like obviously a bad idea if you love someone and you can't have them. I don't know, it just seems, I like the cover. I saw the original cover a while ago, and then I saw the new cover, and I definitely was like, yep, I'm gonna get that. So I have it. I have not read it. I haven't really heard too much about it, but I do really, really like this cover, and I like the concept of the book. So of course I'm going to read it. This is like a shorter one. I feel like I can get through before the end of the year. I have a lot of time on my hands now, so I'll probably try to get to this before the end of the year. Those are all my POC recs. I do not want to see you guys waiting until February to read more POC books. In 2024, you need to read the POC books. Okay? I'm not playing with you. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see, like, give me the POC recs. You better go find them. It's a quick Google search. It's a quick search on TikTok. I just gave you a plethora of POC recs, so you better not act confused when it comes to February, and I better see you pushing these authors, especially POC indie authors. Push their stuff. Give them the spotlight that they deserve. Make room on your shelf. Make room on your TBR. And I will see you guys in the next video. That was a bit aggressive, but I say all this to say please give like POC authors a chance. Thanks.